I was puckered from mouth to butt.
You have said enough.
I'm sorry, but anybody who trusts Jake, bad news for you.
I love your mom.
Aren't I the best at this?
Whoa, bit dizzy.
That's just science.
Rollin' Shorties.
Wow. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Rollin' Shorties. You know, I've heard several times this week that there might be too many inside jokes on my videos. And watching that intro, I'm like, yeah, you're right. Well, today I am joined by Jack from the channel Jack Myers, and you have another channel too.
Yeah, Short Story Focus.
Yeah.
Where I do short story reviews. Sometimes.
And today we are rolling. Let's see who's here. we eagerly await your pearls of wisdom, Deb. What are we saying? You've already read everything in here anyways. D. Nick is here. Paul. Can you see these comments on the right hand? You have a panel there on the right hand side there. You can click on to look at the.
I see them. Yeah, sure.
Nice. I don't believe you, Rob. You're definitely shopping as we speak. You bloody maniac. No, I don't believe him. Oh, now Todgerson doesn't do anything. Jack, let me ask you, have you watched William Todgerson Jr. at all?
Well, he's the guy that had the amazing t-shirt with the Rebel Cashier, right?
You said it.
I love Steven.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to kid him too. So, you know.
Yes, as it should be. We kid the ones we love.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's happening? Gavin's here. Gary's here. Goblin's here. Yeah, I was that's why the my camera's all jacked up. It should be it should be right there. And I don't have the other overhead camera because I was busy today. So
are we going to see something cool with that green screen?
Well, you'll see something. I think whether it's cool or not is yet to be seen.
All right.
Trebby, what's going on, brother? Oh, look at this from London. Nice. There's so many lovely folks here to watch us. I kind of hope Robert leaves. He is. He definitely is. He's a bloody maniac. Hey, Rob, how many books do you have? How many books do you have in your house, Rob? Put it in the comments. I'm guessing. What's your guess, Jack?
2,000, 2,500.
No.
Oh,
Rob's
way more.
He's got 75 at least. I'm guessing 75. 7,500.
Did you see that article about the house where the foundation caved in because they had so many books? It was a 4-story house. And they had to condemn the house because it had so many books. And I'm like, yeah, life goals.
That guy's winning. Yes. No, but I donated 6 to the library this morning, for which they gave me 12 books. Yeah, called it. 7,000.
Wow.
Insane person.
There's no need to read all of those. It's not even required.
How? Why would you want to have read every book you own? That's lame.
That's right. There's no hope there, right?
Yeah, there's no future there.
Yeah, you're right. And if the money ever runs out, at least you've got books.
That's right. Well, that'll be traded in currency. It's as good as gold. Yeah. You get bullets, gold, Everclear, and books.
Yeah, exactly.
Ready for the
You can lose
apocalypse.
all your friends, but you still got your books.
Yeah. When does Rob go to a bookstore? Never. He's a hoarder.
At what point does it become hoarding?
If you have trails.
Okay.
I think if there's trails, it's hoarding, right?
Trails
Or
between the books, right? Yeah.
or you're winning. Gary, you got to get those numbers up, man. Nice. Well, Robbie, those theology books are fat. Yeah. Bullets, beans, and books.
You can live on that and water. It's all you need.
That's it. No way. Oh, there's a bloke in England a few years ago who bought his neighbor's house to expand his library.
Didn't Benicio? Yeah, I'm thinking was it the one the guy who directed Pan's Labyrinth? He did that. He bought the house. He bought the house next to his for all of his art and books.
Guillermo del Toro. Wow.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
Nice. What if there's no room for trails? Then you have to climb over them. And at that point, if you have to climb over them, you're a hoarder. But we're still not mad at you.
That was a Toast of London episode, I believe. There was a house he went in where they had to climb over all the junk in the house.
Goblin. No, Goblin, I've seen your office. You've got, there's cracks, there's margins. You can fit things. No, you're sticking around the whole time, Tim. The whole time. Well, today, the wonderful mythologist Ed Brock sent me a huge box of books. Loaded in this was a bunch of horror anthologies. And is that where you saw this, Jack? How did this happen?
I was just watching it, and you suggested that people reach out to you to read with you, and I thought, well, I've never read a book live, which will probably become very evident in the next few minutes.
Well, I'm a professional, so you have to at least keep up with me.
Yeah, it's hopefully the teachers helped me with my dyslexia when I was a kid, and I can get through this. But yeah, no, I thought it sounded like a lot of fun, actually. So
it is fun. It's a train wreck every time, but it's a lot of fun. And so today we are reading Dark Forces, which is super fat. Look at this.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in here.
You got a copy? You want to jump on? Let me know.
That would be awesome.
We'll pop you on if you're wearing your Outlaw Bookseller shirt. If you're wearing the Outlaw Bookseller shirt, we'll have you on in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that one more person would be great. 2 more would be even better.
Yeah. Yeah, because then we don't have to read as much.
Yeah.
I love it when we got like 4 people here and I'm just like, oh, thank goodness.
Someone to share the pain.
Yeah, right. To leave space for, yeah. I did leave space in front of the TV to watch BookTube. You watched on there's so many people that watch it on their TV. That blows my mind. I never watch YouTube on my TV. I gotta get the whole app for it. All right. Shirts are not required. No. Oh, Sephiroth is in bed.
Oh,
what a baby. What a little baby.
You can stream from bed?
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Just from his holding the phone from his belly. He's the double chin shot the whole time.
You can do that.
That's all cool. You're doing it, Mark. Hop on. I know, and my kids watch it on the TV, but I just never think of firing up the TV. I'm always walking around either doing something. So I was like, I'll watch something while I'm doing something, so it's usually on my phone. Oh no. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh no. I have to make Spolmortem more epic and pulpy. Oh crap. I didn't even think of that. And I got a high definition camera. I got to change some things. Yeah. Fireball. All right. Let's see what we go. Let's see what we got here, shall we? This does have The Mist by Stephen King.
Oh.
We will not be reading The Mist, not just because of that ending, which scarred a generation, but because it's 130 pages.
Is it a different ending than the movie, or do you know? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I've read it and I've seen the movie, but it's a long time ago.
Okay. Well, the movie does not have a happy ending.
No.
Yeah. Are we doing spoilers here? Because spoiler warning.
Yeah. No, I'm just, sometimes I like changing the decor. It's fine. Don't worry about it, Tim. Nothing to worry about. Sephro says the movie ending is different.
Oh, okay.
It is a slightly different ending. All right. So here we go. We're skipping The Mist, The Late Shift by Dennis Etchinson. And you guys in the comments, let us know what you're hoping the die of fate will decide, because the dice of fate has been punishing us lately. And I don't know why. Also, Jack, you have the option to re-roll since you're the guest. So if you want to re-roll, you have earned, we'll give you one re-roll. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So The Late Shift by Dennis Etchinson, The Enemy by Isaac Bashevis Singer, Dark Angel by Edward Bryant, The Crest of 36 by Davis Grubb, Mark Industry, The Customer's Tale by Robert Aikman. I'm pretty sure I read all that wrong. Where the Summer Ends by Carl Edward Wagner, The Bingo Master by Joyce Carol Oates, Children of the Kingdom by Ted Klein, The Detective of Dreams by Gene Wolfe, Vengeance Is by Theodore Sturgeon, The Brood by Ramsey Campbell, The Whistling Well by Clifford D. Simak, The Peculiar Demence by Russell Kirk, Where the Stones Grow by Lisa Tuttle, The Night Before Christmas by Robert Bloch, The Stupid Joke by Edward Gorey, A Touch of Petulance by Ray Bradbury, Lindsay and the Red City Blues by Joe Hadelman, A Garden of Blackened Roses by Charles L. Grant, Owls Hoot in the Daytime by Manly Wade Wellman, Where There's a Will by Richard Matheson and Richard Christian Matheson. Maybe he wrote half it pre and the other half post conversion. Ha! Joke. Traps by Gon Wilson. All right. What are you hoping we find out here? We read out here. Did any of these stick out to you?
I'm hoping either for Joe Haldeman or Carl Edward Wagner.
Trubby wants Wagner. Tim wants Wellman. Paul wants Christmas. Couple for Q. Carl Edward. Oh, there's a lot for Carl Edward Wagner. Okay. Now you guys are gonna have to just believe me with the dice, okay? So because there's no overhead cam, but I'm a man of my word, Scout's honor, and I don't mind when we read garbage. So I'm not gonna. Yeah. I'll play first. So we're skipping number 1, and and I think there's 22. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 stories. Here we go. Number 2. Number 2 is The Late Shift by Dennis Etchinson. What do you think, Jack?
Oh, well, he's one of the greats.
Yeah, I've never read him.
Every horror writer I know loves him.
All right. So we're letting the dice roll on the first roll?
I'm good with it, sure.
All right. Go, man. I want relief. Well, you've come to the right place, my friend.
Is the Etchison's story kind of short?
Gavin, we were just talking about too many inside jokes here. Those are my 2 most recent haters, which is so great. Start a YouTube channel. You'll get people who hate you.
Oh, for no good reason. They'll hate you, that's for sure.
Well, one of them might have had a reason.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. No reason.
I love the sock puppets. We talked about that earlier. The see your review, and 10 minutes later they've got a new account to criticize you with. So that's dedication.
I love it. There's some, well, I got a lot of warnings from people that are like, this is what you do This is what no shut. Well, he has a reason now, Tim. No, there's like they're like, don't read the comments. There's gonna be some real negative stuff in there, and just try to ignore it, block it. Dude, I love it.
Yeah,
I love
whatever.
I love negative comments.
Spinning them up is fun, right? Yeah.
I send them to all my friends. Like, look at this comment, and half of them get like mad, just like, I'm gonna knock that guy's lights out. Send me his address, and I'm like, no, I'm laughing. I live rent free in this person's head. Yeah,
this stuff does like the comments about stories does seem to generate the most vehement geek rage of all things. So it is,
yeah.
We nerds take this stuff seriously.
Yeah. Go, man. That's it. All right, I'm saving that comment. Major takedown incoming. All right, let's do this, shall we? Let's dive right in.
Paragraph by paragraph?
Well,
or page by page?
Nah, do like half a page. We'll give each other a break.
All right.
Like half a page, and we'll just bounce off each other. We're
Very
pros,
good.
right? Wait, what's the story called again?
The Late Shift.
The Late Shift by Dennis Etchinson. So if you guys are reading along with us, let us know. They're not going to, because then we'll make them join us live.
Will you be starting, Jake, or shall I?
I'll start. We'll do this.
All right.
Yes, this story will be wild. And yeah, as always, while we're reading, I won't be able to keep up with your guys' comments. So I apologize. I'm not ignoring you. All right. Hey, do you think we should read that? No. Should we read what do you guys think? Should we read the intro by the...
Do you want me to read the intro?
Read the intro by Kirby McCauley. Yeah, let's see what's going on here.
Slowly but surely, over the last dozen years or so, Dennis Etchison has built up an impressive reputation as a distinctive stylist in the fantasy and horror field. He has brought to the form a lyric style and a sharp eye for details, especially those of Southern California, where he has lived most of his life. Etchison has published in magazines ranging from Cavalier to fantasy and science fiction, and to Mystery Monthly, and is presently writing his first novel for publication. He is also keenly interested in screenwriting and wrote the novelization of John Carpenter's movie The Fog. Oh. This demonstrates his visual sense of the Southern California area and is also a scary projection one step beyond.
All right.
Hey, was Cavalier, what was Cavalier magazine? Was that a naughty magazine?
I know it was a Slick.
Oh, okay. It was a Slick. I can't remember.
I don't know. Let us know in the comments. I'm not exactly sure. This is like the third Etch-a-Sketch comment. Oh, all right. They were driving back from a midnight screening of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Who will survive and what will be left of them? When one of them decided they should make the stop and start market on the way home. Macklin couldn't be sure later who said it first, but it didn't really matter, for there was the all-night logo, its bright colors cutting through the fog before they reached 26th Street. And as soon as he saw it, Macklin moved over close to the curb and began coasting towards the only sign of life anywhere in town at 1:45 in the morning. They passed through the sudden... Good heavens. Sorry, everybody. They passed through the... No, I can do it. I just got to power through. I got to fire up my brain. They passed through the... I only had one cup of coffee today. That's what it is. I'm like, why can't I read?
I had coffee with lion's mane, which fights back old age.
Me too. That's why I'm actually 62, but yeah, a lot of lion's mane. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm a rough 25. They passed through the electric eye at the door, rubbing their faces in the sudden cold light. Macklin peeled off towards the news rack, feeling like a newborn before the Le Boyer method. He reached into a row of well-thumbed magazines, but they were all chopper, custom car, detective, and stroke books as far as he could see. Please, sorry, thank you, the night clerk was saying. No, said a woman's voice. Can't you hear? I want that box. That one. Please, please, said the night man again. Macklin glanced up. A couple of guys were waiting in line behind her, next to the styrofoam ice chests. One of them cleared his throat and moved his feet. The woman was trying to give back a small oblong carton, but the clerk didn't seem to understand. He picked up the box, turned to the shelf, back to her again. Then Macklin saw what it was, a package of 12 prophylactics from behind the counter, back from where they kept the cough syrup and airplane glue and film. That was all she wanted, a pack of Polaroid SX70 land film. Macklin wandered to the back of the store. How's it coming, Whitey?
I got the beer nuts, said Whitey, and the Jiffy Pop, but I can't find any Old English 800. He rummaged through the refrigerator case. Then get the Schlitz malt liquor. Ugh, that's terrible, said Macklin. That ought to do the job. He jerked his head at the counter. Hey, did you catch that action up there? What's that? 2 more guys hurried in, heading for the wine display. Never mind, look. Why don't you just take this stuff up there and get a place in line? I'll find us some Schlitz or something. Go on. They won't sell to us after 2 o'clock. He finally found a 6-pack hidden behind some bottles, then picked up a quart of milk and a half dozen eggs. When he got to the counter, a woman had already given up and gone home. The next man in line asked for cigarettes and beef jerky. Somehow the clerk managed to ring it up. The electronic register and UPC code lines helped him a lot. Did you get a load of that one? Said Whitey. Well, I'll be gonged. Old Wano, I guess we're going to pronounce that Wano. Old Wano's sure hit the skids, huh? The pits. They should have stood him in an aquarium. Who? Wano. It is him, right? Take another look. Whitey pretended to study the ceiling. Macklin stared at the clerk. Slick back hair, dyed and greasy and parted in the middle, a phony Hitler mustache, thrift shop clothes that didn't fit, and his skin didn't look right somehow. He was wearing makeup over a face that hadn't seen the light of day in ages. But what was right, it was Wano. He had waited on Macklin too many times in that little Mexican restaurant over in East LA, Mama Something's. Yes, that was it. Mama Carnitas on Whittier Boulevard. Macklin and his friends, including Whitey, had eaten there maybe 50 or 100 times back when they were taking classes at Cal State. It was Wano for sure.
Whitey set his things on the counter. How's it going, man? He said. Thank you, said Wano. Macklin laid out the rest and reached for his money. The milk made a lumpy sound when he let go of it. He gave the carton a shake. Forget this, he said. It's gone sour. Then, haven't seen you around, old buddy. Wano, wasn't it? Sorry, said Wano. He sounded dazed, like a sleepwalker. Whitey wouldn't give up. Hey, they still make that good menudo over there? He dug in his jeans for change. God, I could eat about a gallon of it right now, I bet. They were both waiting, the seconds ticking by. A radio in the store was playing an old 60s song, Light My Fire. Macklin thought, the Doors. Somebody was paid by the word. You remember me, don't you? Jim Macklin, he held out his hand. And my trusted Indian companion, Whitey. He used to come in there with me on the Tuesdays and Thursdays. The clerk dragged his feet to the register, then turned back, turned again. His eyes were half closed. Sorry, he said. Sorry, please. Macklin tossed down the bills, and Whitey counted his coins and slapped them on the countertop. Thanks, said Whitey, his upper lip curling back. He hooked a thumb in the direction of the door. Come on, this place gives me the creeps. As he left, Macklin caught a whiff of Wano or whoever he was. The scent was sickeningly sweet, like gilded lily. His hair, Macklin felt a cold draft blowing through his chest and shuddered. The air conditioning, he thought. At the door, Whitey spun around and glared. So what? Said Macklin. Let's go. What time does Tube City here close? Never forget it. He touched his friend's arm. The hell I will, said Whitey. I'm coming back when they change the fucking shifts. About 6 o'clock, right? I'm going to be standing right there in the parking lot when he walks out. That son of a bitch still owes me $20. Please, muttered the man behind the counter, his eyes fixed on nothing. Please. Sorry. Thank you.
The call came around 10. At first, he thought it was a gag. He propped his eyelids up and peeked around the apartment, half expecting to find Whitey still there, curled up asleep among the loaded ashtrays and pinched beer cans. But it was no joke. Okay, I'll be right there, he grumbled, not yet comprehending and hung up the phone. St. John's Hospital on 14th. The lobby, families milled about, dressed as if on their way to church, watching the elevators, waiting obediently for the clocks to signal the start of visiting hours. Business hours, thought Macklin. He got the room number from the desk and went on up. A police officer stood stiffly in the hall, taking notes on an accident report form. Macklin got the story from him and from an irritatingly healthy-looking doctor. The official story, and found himself against his will believing in it, in some of it. His friend had been in an accident sometime after dawn. His friend's car, the old VW, had gone over an embankment not far from the Aurora Seco. His friend had been found near the wreckage, covered with blood and reeking of alcohol. His friend had been drunk. Let's see now. Let's see here now. Any living relatives? Asked the officer. All we could get out of him was your name. He was in a pretty bad state of shock, they tell me. No relatives, said Macklin. Maybe back on the reservation. I don't know. I'm not even sure where a long, angry rumble of thunder sounded outside the windows. A steely light reflected off the clouds and filtered into the corridor. It mixed with the fluorescence in the ceiling, rendering the hospital interior a hard-edged, silvery gray. The faces of the policemen and the passing nurses took on a shaded, unnatural cast. It made no sense. Whitey couldn't have been that drunk when he left Macklin's apartment. Of course, he did not actually remember his friend leaving, but Whitey was going to the stop and start if he was going anywhere, not halfway across the country to where? Aurora Seco? It was crazy. Did you say there was liquor in the car? Afraid so. We found an empty fifth of Jack Daniels wedged between the seats, but Macklin knew he didn't keep anything hard at his place, and neither did Whitey, he was sure. Where was he supposed to have gotten it? With every liquor counter in the state shut down for the night.
And then it hit him. Whitey never drank Sour Mash whiskey. In fact, Whitey never drank anything stronger than beer anytime, any place, because he couldn't. It was supposed to have something to do with his liver, as it did with other Americans. He just didn't have the right enzymes. Macklin waited for the uniforms and coats to move away, then ducked inside. Whitey, he said slowly, for there he was, set up against firm pillows, the upper torso and most of the head bandaged. The arms were bare, except for an ID bracelet and an odd pattern of zigzag lines from wrist to shoulder. The lines seemed to have been painted by an unsteady hand, using a pale gray dye of some kind. Call me by my name, said Whitey groggily. It's White Feather. He was probably shot full of painkillers, but at least he was okay, wasn't he? What's with the war paint, old buddy? I saw the Death Angel last night. Macklin faltered. I hear you're getting out of here real soon, he tried. You almost had me worried there, but I reckon you're just not ready for the bone orchard yet. Did you hear what I said? What? Oh, yes. What had they shot him up with? Macklin cleared his throat and met his friend's eyes, which were focused beyond him. What was it? A dream? A dream, said Whitey. The eyes were glazed, burned out. What happened, Whitey? He thought. Whitey, you put that war paint on yourself, he said gently. It's pilohex, said Whitey, mixed with a lead pencil. I put it on. The nurse washes it off. I put it on again. I see. He didn't, but went on. So tell me what happened, partner. I couldn't get much out of the doctor. The mouth smiled humorlessly, the lips cracking back from the teeth. It was Wano, he said. He started to laugh bitterly. He touched his ribs and stopped himself. Macklin nodded, trying to get the drift. Did you tell that to the cops out there? Sure. Cops always believe a drunken Indian. Didn't you know that? Look, I'll take care of Wano. Don't you worry. Whitey laughed suddenly in a high voice that Macklin had never heard before. Hee. What are you going to do, kill him? I don't know, he said, trying to think, in spite of the clattering in the hall. They make a living from death, you know, said Whitey. Ew, I like that. Just then a nurse swept into the room, pulling a cart behind her. How did you get in here? She demanded. I'm just having a conversation with my friend here. Well, you'll have to leave. He's scheduled for surgery this afternoon. Do you know about the trial of the dead? Asked Whitey. Shh, now, said the nurse. You can talk to your friend as long as you want to. Later.
I want to know, said Whitey as she prepared a syringe. What is it we want to know now? She said, preoccupied. What dead? Where? Where? Repeated Whitey. I here, of course. The dead are here, aren't they? It was a statement. Tell me something. What do you do with them? Now what nonsense. The nurse swabbed his arm, clucking at the ritual lines on the skin. I was asking you a question, said Whitey. Look, I'll be outside, said Macklin, okay? This is for you too, said Whitey. I want you to hear. Now, if you'll just tell us, Miss Nurse, what do you do with the people who die in here? Would you please? I can't hear you. Whitey drew his arm away from her. She sighed. We take them downstairs. Really, this is most... But Whitey kept looking at her, nailing her with those expressionless eyes. Oh, the remains are tagged and kept in cold storage, she said, humoring him, until arrangements can be made with the family for services. There, now, can we... But what happens between the time they become between the time they become remains and the services? How long is that? A couple of days? 3? She lost patience and plunged the needle into the arm. Listen, said Macklin, I'll be around if you need me. And hey, buddy, he added, we're going to have everything all set up for you when this is over. You'll see. A party, I swear. I can go and get them to send you up a TV right now, at least. Like a bicycle for a fish, said Whitey. Macklin attempted to laugh. You take it easy now. And then he heard it again, the high, strange voice. Hee. Tamunka Sneekun.
Perfect.
That was fun. Macklin needed suddenly to get out of there. Jim, what? I was wrong about something last night. Yeah, sure was. That place wasn't Tube City. This is. He. That's funny, thought Macklin. With like an open grave, he walked out. The last thing he saw was the nurse bending over Whitey, drawing her syringe of blood like an old-fashioned phlebotomist.
I like the tone so far. I like the creepy tone. What do they do with the bodies? Pretty cool. All he could find out that afternoon was that the operation wasn't critical and that there would be additional X-rays, tests, and a period of, quote, observation. Though when pressed for details, the hospital remained predictably vague no matter how he put down the questions. Instead of killing time, he made for the stop and start. He stood around until the store was more or less empty, then approached the counter. The manager, who Macklin knew slightly, was working the register himself. Raphael stonewalled Macklin at the first mention of Wando. His beady eyes receded into glacial ignorance. No, the right man named Dom or Don, he mumbled so that Macklin couldn't be sure. No, Don or Dom had been working here for 6-7 months. No. Until Macklin came up with the magic word, police. After a few minutes of bobbing and weaving, he started to come out, and Raph sounded almost scared, yet relieved to be able to talk about it to someone, even to Macklin. They bring me these guys, my friend, whispered Raph. I don't got nothing to do with it, believe me. It's just the way it seems. It's company policy for all the stores, not just me. Sometimes they call and say, lay off my regular boy, up on the graveyard shift, especially when there's been a lot of holdups. Hell, that might be right by me. I don't know. I don't want to see Dom shot up. He's my best man. See, I put the hours down at Dom's pay, so when it comes right out of the taxes, then he has to kick it. Then he just has to kick it back. I don't even go into his check. The district office, they got to pay the outfit that supplies these guys, only they don't give them the regular wage. I don't know if they're wetbacks or what. I hear they only get maybe $1.25 an hour, or at least the outfit that brings them does. So the office is making money. You know how many stores, how many shifts that adds up to? Myself, I'm damn glad they only use them after dark, late, when things can get hairy for an all night, man. It's the way they look, but you've already seen one, this Wano, whatever. So, right? Something else, my friend? They all look messed up. Macklin noticed goosebumps forming on Raph's arms, but I don't personally know nothing about it.
They, thought Macklin, poised outside the stop and start. Sure enough, like clockwork, they had brought Wano to work at midnight, right on schedule. With raw, burning eyes, he had watched them do something to Wano's shirt front and then point him at the door, and let go. What did they do? Wind him up? But they would be back. Macklin was sure of that. They, whoever they were, the paranoid they. Well, he was sure as hell going to find out who they were now. He popped another Dexamil and swallowed dry until it stayed down. Threats didn't work any better than questions with Wano himself. Macklin had to learn that the hard way. The guy was so sublimely creepy, it was all he could do to swivel back and forth between register and counter, slithering a highline hand over the change machine in the face of the most outraged customers like Macklin, giving out with only the same pathetic wheezing, please, please, sorry, thank you, like a stretched cassette tape on its last loop. What had sent Macklin over to the car with exactly no options, nothing to do that might jar the nightmare loose, except to pound the steering wheel and curse the dream, redder and redder dreams of revenge. He had burned rubber between the parking lot and the Sweeney Todd's pub, turning over 2 pints of John Courage and a shot of Irish whiskey before he's a lush, yeah.
Right.
Before he could think clearly enough to waste another dime calling the hospital or even to look at his watch. At 6 o'clock, they would be back for Wano, and then he would find out. 2 or 3 hours in the all-night movie theater downtown, merging with the shadows on the tattered screen, the popcorn girl wiping stains off her uniform, the ticket girl staring through him, and again when he left. Something about her tried to think, something about the people who work night owl shifts anywhere. He remembered faces down the years. It didn't matter what they looked like. The night walkers, insomniacs, addicts, those without money for a cheap hotel. They would always come back to the only game in town. They had no choice. It didn't matter what the ticket girl was messed up. It didn't matter that Wano was messed up. Why should it? A blue van glided into the lot. The stop and start sign. Sorry?
Oh, nothing. I was going to jump in, but you're good.
Oh, no, go ahead. Take over.
The stop and start sign dimmed, paling against the coming morning. The van braked. The man in rumpled clothes climbed out. There was a second figure in the front seat. The driver unlocked the back doors, silencing the birds that were gathering in the trees. There he entered the store. Macklin watched. Juno was led out. The AM relief man stood by, shaking his head. Macklin hesitated. He wanted Juno, but what could he do now? What the hell had he been waiting for exactly? There was still something else, something else. It was like the glimpse of a shape under a sheet in a busy corridor. You didn't know what it was at first, but it was there. You knew what it might be, but you couldn't be sure, not until you got close and stayed next to it long enough to be able to read its true form. The driver helped Yano into the van. He locked the doors, started the engine, and drove away. Macklin, his lights out, followed. He stayed with the van as it snaked a path across the city, nearer and nearer the foothills. The sides were unmarked, but he figured it must operate like one of those minibus Portamaid services he had seen leaving Malibu and Bel Air late in the afternoon, or like the loads of kids trucked into push magazine subscriptions and phony charities in the neighborhoods near where he lived. The sky was still black, beginning to turn to slate close to the horizon. Once they passed a garbage collector already on his rounds, Macklin kept his distance. They led him finally to a street in that dead end at the construction site. Macklin idled by the corner. Then he saw the van turn back. He let them pass, cruised to the end, and made a slow turn. Then he saw the van returning. He pretended to park. He looked up. They had stopped the van crosswise in front of him, blocking his passage. The man in rumpled clothes jumped out and opened Macklin's door. Macklin started to get out, but was pushed back. You think you're big enough, man, to be trailing people around? Macklin tried to penetrate the beam of the flashlight. I saw my old friend Wano get in your truck, he began. Began to get a chance to talk to him and thought I might as well follow him home and see what he's been up to. The other man got out of the front seat of the van. He was younger, delicate boned. He stood to one side, listening. I saw him get in, said Macklin. Back at the stop and start on Pico. He groped under the seat for the tire iron. I was driven out and get out. What? We saw you out of the car. He shrugged and swung his legs around, lifting the iron behind him as he stood.
The younger man motioned with his head, and the driver yanked Macklin forward by the shirt, kicking the door closed on Macklin's arm at the same time. He let out a yell as the tire iron clanged to the pavement. Another accident, suggested the younger man. Too messy after the one yesterday. Come on, pal. You're going to get to see your friend. Macklin hunched over in pain. One of them jerked his bad arm up, and he screamed. Over it all, he felt a needle jab him high in the armpit, and then he was falling. The van was bumping along on the freeway when he came out of it. With his good hand, he pawed his face, trying to clear his vision. The other arm didn't hurt, but it wouldn't move when he wanted it to. He was sprawled on his back. He felt a wheeling humming under him below the tire well. There were others. They were sitting up. One was Wano. He was aware of a stink, sickeningly sweet, with an overlay he remembered from high school lab days, but couldn't quite place. It sliced into his nostrils, sorry. He didn't recognize the others. Pasty faces, heads down, forward, heads thrown forward, arms distended strangely with the wrists jutting out from the coat sleeves. Give me a hand, he said, not really expecting it. He strained to sit up. He could make out the backs of two heads in the cab. One of the others, hold on, I lost that there. On the other side of the grid. Sorry about that. He dropped his voice to a whisper. Hey, can you guys understand me? Let us rest, someone said weakly. He rose too quickly and his equilibrium failed. He had been shot up with something strong enough to knock him out, but it was probably the Dexamil that had kept his mind from leaving his body completely. The van yawed, descended off the ramp, and began to drift. He heard voices. They slipped in and out of his consciousness like fish in darkness, moving between his ears in blurred levels he could not always identify. There's still room at the cross, said the younger, small-boned man. He was almost sure. Do you want me to continue?
No, I'll take over. Oh, I've been interested in Jesus for a long time, but I can never get a handle on him. Well, beware the wrath to come. You really should, you know. He put his head back and he became one with the dark dream. There was something he wanted to remember. He did not want to remember it. He turned his mind to doggerel, to the old song. The time to hesitate is through, he thought. No time to wallow in the mire. Try now, we can only lose, and our love becomes a funeral pyre. The van bumped to a halt. His head bounced off steel. The door opened. He watched it. It seemed to take forever. Through slitted eyes, a man in a uniform that barely fit hobbled his way to the back of the van, supported by the two of them. A line of gasoline pumps and a sign that read, "We never close, never undersold." The letters breathed. Before they let him go, the one with the rumpled clothes unbuttoned the attendant's shirt and stabbed a hypodermic into the chest, close to the heart and next to the strap that ran under the arms. The needle darted and flashed dully in the wan morning light. "This one needs a booster," said the driver. Or maybe it was the other one. Their voices ran together. "Just make sure you don't give them the same stuff you gave old Wano's sweetheart there. I want to see them walk in on their own hind legs. You think I want to carry them? We've done it before, brother. Yesterday, for instance." At that, Macklin let his eyes down the rest of the way, and he was drifting again. The wheels drummed under him. "How much longer?" "Soon now, soon." These voices weak, like folding and unfolding of paper. Brakes grabbed. The doors opened again. A thin light played over Macklin's lids, forcing them open. He had another moment of clarity, and they were becoming more frequent now. He blinked and felt pain. This time the van was parked between low hills. Two men in Western costume passed by, one of them leading a horse. The driver stopped a group of figures in togas. He seemed to be asking for directions. Behind them, a castle lay in ruins. Part of a castle, and over the side, Macklin identified a church steeple. The corner of the turn-of-the-century street, a mock-up of rocket launching pad and an old brick schoolhouse. Under the flat sky, they receded in intersections of angles and vistas which tethered almost imperceptibly, ready to topple.
Driver and the other one set a stretcher on the tailgate. On the litter was a long, crumpled shape, sheeted and encased in a plastic bag. They slothed it inside and started to secure the doors. You got the pacemaker back, I hope. Stunt director said it's in the body bag. It better be, or it's your ass in a sling. Your ass. He gets so racked up anyway. Ran him over a cliff in a sports car. Or no, maybe this one was the head-on they staged for, that new cop series. That's what they want now, realism. Good thing he's cremation. Ain't no way Kelly or Dee's going to get this one pretty again by tomorrow. That's why, man, that's why they picked him. Ashes don't need makeup. The van started up. Going home, someone said weakly. Yes. Macklin was awake now. Crouching by the bag, he scanned the faces, Wano's and the others. The eyes were staring fixed on a point as untouchable as the thinnest of plasma membranes and quite unreadable. He crawled over next to the one from the self-service gas station. The shirt hung open like folds of skin. He saw the silver box strapped to the flabby chest, directly over the heart. Pacemaker, he thought wildly. He knelt and put his ear to the box. He heard a humming like an electric wristwatch. What for? To keep the blood pumping just enough so tissues don't rigor mortis and decay? For God's sakes, for how much longer? He remembered Whitey and the nurse. What happens between the time they become remains and the services? How long is that? A couple of days? 3? A wave of nausea broke inside of him. When he gazed at them again, the faces were wavering because his eyes were filling with tears. Where are we? He asked. I wish you could be here, said the gas station attendant. And where is that?
We have all been here before, said another voice. Going home, said another. Yes, he thought, understanding. Soon you'll have your rest. Soon you will no longer be objects, commodities. You'll be honored and grieved for, and your personhood given back, and then you will at last rest in peace. It is not for nothing that you have been labored so long and so patiently. You will see, all of you, soon. He wanted to tell them, but he couldn't. He hoped they already knew. The van lurched and slowed. The handbrake ratcheted. He lay down and closed his eyes. He heard the door creak back. Let's go. The driver began to herd the bodies out. There was a sound of heavy, dragging feet, and from outside the smell of fresh-cut grass and roses. What about this one? Said the driver, kicking Macklin's shoe. Oh, he'll do his 48-hour service. Don't worry. It's called utilizing your resources. Tell me about it. So when do we get the Indian? Soon as St. John certifies him. He's overdue. The crash was sloppy. This won't be. But first, Deal want him to talk. See what he knows. See who he told. 2 doggers in the days is too much. Then we'll probably run back to his car and do it and phone it in so St. John's gets him. Even if it's DOA, clean as a hammered shit, grab the other end. He felt the body bag sliding against his leg. Grunting, they hauled it out and hefted it towards where? He opened his eyes. He hesitated, only a second, to take a deep breath. And then he was out of the van, running. Gravel kicked up under his feet. He heard curses and metal slamming. He just kept his head down and his legs pumping. Once he twisted around and saw a man scurrying after him. The driver paused by the mortuary building and shouted, but Macklin kept moving. He stayed on the path as long as he dared. It led him past mossy trees and bird-stained statues. He then jumped and cut across a carpet of matted leaves and onto a glade. He passed a gate that spelled Dry Lawn Cemetery in old iron, kept running until he spotted a break in the fence where it sloped by the edge of the grounds. He tore through the huge, dusty ivy and skidded down, and there he was on a sidewalk.
Cars revved at a wide intersection, impatient to get to work. He heard coughing and footsteps, but it was only a bus stop at the middle of the block. The air brakes of a commuter special hissed and squealed. A clutch of grimed people rose from the bench and filed aboard like sleepwalkers. He ran for it, but the doors flopped shut and the bus roared on. More people at the corner, stopping blindly between each other. He hurried and merged with them. Dry cleaners, laundromat, hamburger stand, parking lot, gas station, all closed. but there was a telephone at the gas station. He ran against the light. He sealed the booth behind him and nearly collapsed against the glass. He rattled money into the phone, dialed operator, and called for the police. The air was close in the booth. He smelled hair tonic. Sweat swelled out of his pores and glazed his skin. Somewhere a radio was playing. A sergeant punched into the line. Macklin yelled for them to come and get him. Where was he? He looked around frantically, but there were no street signs. Only a newspaper rack chained to a post. None of the dead has been identified, said the headline. His throat tightened, his voice racing. None of the dead has been identified, he said, practically babbling. Silence. So he went ahead, pouring it all out, pouring it out about a van and a hospital and a man in rumpled clothes who shot guys up with some kind of super adrenaline and electric pacemakers and night clerks and crash tests. He struggled to get it all out before it was too late. A part of him heard what he was saying and wondered if he had lost his mind. Who will bury them? He cried. What kind of monsters? The line clicked off. He hung on to the phone. His eyes were swimming with sweat. And he was aware of his heart and counted the beats. Jake, you want to take us out?
While moisture from his breath condensed on the glass, he dropped another coin onto the box. Good morning, St. John's. May I help you? He couldn't remember the room number. He described the man, the accident, the date. 6th floor. Yes, that was right. He kept talking until she got it. There was a pause. Hold. He waited. Sir? He didn't say anything. It was as if he had no words left. I'm terribly sorry. He felt the blood drain from him. His fingers were cold and numb. But I'm afraid the surgery wasn't successful. The party did not recover. If you wish, I'll connect you with... The party's name was White Feather, he said mechanically. The receiver fell and dangled, swinging like a pendulum on a clock. He braced his legs against the side of the booth. After what seemed like a very long time, he found himself reaching reflexively for his cigarettes. He took one from the crushed pack, straightened it, and hung it from his lips. On the other side of the frosted glass, featureless shapes lumbered by the boulevard. He watched them for a while. He picked up a book of matches from the floor, lit 2 together, and held them close to the glass. The flame burned a clear spot through the moisture. Trying to set the night on fire, he thought stupidly, repeating the words until they and any others he could think of lost meaning. The fire started to burn his fingers. He hardly felt it. He ignited the matchbook cover too, turning it over and over. He wondered if there were anything else that would burn. Anything. Everything. He squeezed his eyelids together. When he opened them, he was looking down at his clothing. He peered out through the clear spot in the glass. Outside, the outline fuzzy and distorted, but quite unmistakable, was a blue van. It was waiting at the curb. Tim, how does the pendulum sound? Tim was our special effects guy in the or our sound effects guy. That was The Late Shift by Dennis Etchinson. What are your thoughts, Jack?
I'm trying to quite figure out what was happening to that poor guy, other than having a really bad night. It seems like there was some kind of maybe body snatching thing going on there, some kind of zombification ritual, were they using them for movie sets because they're cheap? They get the realism because they can kill them for real. Dun, dun, dun. The people you see dying in movies are really dying. It's for real.
It's for real.
That's an interesting idea, And I mean, a short story is like that, isn't it? Like a short story is like the way you capture short story ideas. Sometimes they're like shadows walking by you and you kind of grab them and you work them out and then you just follow that thread for, 6,000 words. So this kind of feels like that, Plus he tried to be edgy. He put that edgy language in there. It's always funny. Yeah. The period, you recognize the period by the edgy language. So it's always kind of funny that way. So it's interesting. I mean, he took it as a thought experiment and he's published, you know what I mean? So good job.
Right. I know that the initial concept is obvious. Late shift workers, what if they're actually zombies?
Yeah.
But I did like how it was explored. Like it was fleshed out. It was and like you said, with the movie props, like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hollywood, yeah, they definitely buy a bunch of dead bodies just to shoot them up or whatever.
I thought it was
special effects.
Yeah, and the characters were drawn into it inexorably. Like it wasn't that they wanted to be there, and they certainly knew how to avoid it, but there was no way they could get around it. The main character was fatalistically pulled into it, so that was captured pretty well, I thought.
Yeah,
because he could have gotten away, but he didn't get away. The time to get away would have been at the beginning, at the first sign of trouble. Most of us leave at the first sign of trouble. At the first sign of zombies, I'm gone.
Yeah.
So.
Do I need to follow this car of zombies? The zombie van?
Not without my AK.
Right? Yeah. Charlie says he's read a few stories by him and has enjoyed them. Nice. Yeah, that was my first time reading him, and it was all right.
Yeah, my understanding is he's gotten much better over the years too. Down the road, he did a lot of other writing that people really liked. I mean, The Fog is an enjoyable movie in and of itself too.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I've never seen The Fog, actually. Familiar with it, but I've never seen it.
It's good. It's about pirates that attack a coastal town.
In the mist. They have to stay in the mist, though, right?
Yeah, they come in the fog, right? Yeah, and they're chasing after Adrian Barbeau. So,
who wouldn't?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did people enjoy the story?
I can't tell. They were talking about food the whole time. There's like hamburgers.
Yeah.
I think. That checks out. They're the fried egg on a burger. You know what? I don't really care for fried egg on a burger. Why?
Yeah.
Unless you're hitting your protein goals. Bossman style jalapeno and fried egg with pepper jack and spicy mayo and mustard.
I mean, it doesn't sound bad.
Oh. What's your ideal burger? Since the chat wants to know.
A good smash burger.
Oh.
But I like a good gourmet burger too. I'm not against them. I eat mostly a vegetarian diet, but every once in a while I just go off it and have a burger or some bacon. I'm not fighting it too hard.
Yeah, okay. That's good. So it's not like, every once in a while you're like, I need a burger, right?
I'm not a fanatic. Yeah. Yeah.
Warhammer horror. Gary, I've never read any Warhammer horror.
Isn't the horror it's kind of there in the whole undead king and everything else that's in there, right?
I don't know. I'm not very familiar with Warhammer at all. Like I know like whatever's in the cultural zeitgeist, but never read anything from it.
The interesting thing about Warhammer to me is that every time you write something, people wind up comparing it to Warhammer because it's so derivative of everything that if you no matter what you write, people kind of tend to notice Warhammer in it. If you write like action, adventure, different things like that, it has borrowed liberally from everything.
Yeah. L Space Archives is correct, actually. You wouldn't think so, but he is correct in this comment. Yep. It doesn't make sense, but it is awesome. Once in a while, every 2 hours eats meat. Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Yeah, I think there's some comedian, I don't remember who it was, but they wanted to be vegetarian. Who the heck was it? I don't know. Let me know if you know this in the chat. But he's like, in one of his specials, he's like, I wanted to be a vegetarian. I believe in all that. I believe in taking care of the environment. I don't like killing animals. I don't like the way they're treated, but I just had to finally accept the fact that for me to live every single day, something has to die. I mean, that's a macabre way of looking at it, but true.
Whatever you're eating something that was alive, plant or animal, right?
Right. And plus, like, there's some plants that are more intelligent have more electrical synapses than like scallops, some fish. It's like, so
that's
where do you draw the line? Peanut butter on hot dogs is actually awesome. You guys are just dying for the food.
It didn't take us long to get to food, did it?
No, they started the food before we even finished the story. I like the story.
Yeah.
I don't know that I liked his writing style, if I'm being honest.
He was a little too hip, a little too much of a hep cat kind of. I thought he was trying a little. It was an attempt at edgy, but I don't know that it actually reached the edge.
Yeah. That, and there were some sentences that I'm just like, why'd you phrase it like that?
Yeah,
like
it was tough to read.
Yeah, it was. We kept tripping and had to like stop and stutter, and we're like, why did he phrase it like this? He could have just, why?
Yeah, it was too much of an attempt at cool. Maybe it was a really hard attempt, really hard stab at cool. But I mean, I appreciate what he was trying to do. I just didn't really, it wasn't landing all that well with me. It gives me hope though, because if that story can get published, there's hope for all of us.
I love that when you can objectively can objectively read something that's been published, been republished, and be like, objectively, I'm better than this.
Yeah. You know, I could definitely do that. Probably clean draft one writing. So, but, I mean, he got better too, though. So, I mean, you know, that's pretty early in his career. So,
yeah, I definitely wouldn't want my early stuff to be out there in the world. It was Dennis, now I don't even remember.
Dennis Etchison.
Yeah. Dennis Etchison. Yeah. So we were talking before the stream, but maybe you could let some people know you'd actually did something crazy this last year, which is why you kind of took a step back from your channel.
Yeah, I wrote a story a week for a year, which is kind of like a Ray Bradbury challenge, but I did it.
Madness.
I did it with so and then I published it too in Kindle, and so I had to create a book cover, a story, and publish it all within about a week to 2 week period. So I had a week to write the story, and then another week to get the cover done for the challenge. When I was done with the challenge, I had access to all of Dean Wesley Smith's training materials, which is about $20,000 worth of stuff. So it was really nice. It was very hard to do, and it was a lot of writing. And luckily AI made making covers a little easier, but I just didn't have time to paint a cover every week. You know,
no.
So it was nice. I mean, if AI hadn't existed, I would have just used free photo stock. You know, like I still would have found covers. But I use that. I will say that people react viscerally to AI, even on a book cover. They really don't like it, and I understand completely. It's just that I was kind of obligated to complete the task. I had to come up with covers in some manner. So you know,
you published. So this wasn't like you did at the end of it. You did a collection of all of them. You published each and every one.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Every week. Yeah, every week. He said I'm the only guy to ever pull off the challenge. I'm the only guy to ever do it. So
yeah, Charlie writes a lot. He knows it's a
it was, and I wrote about 6 other stories aside from that too. So
wow. Have you thought about making a collection?
I'm going to make an anthology out of it, because I've got so many people asking me to now. So I've got to pick like the 10 stories that all kind of resemble each other, and then so I can do that several times. I can make about 5 or 6 anthologies out of last year's work. You know, I'm going to have to rework a little bit of it, but in the meantime, I'm trying to write other stuff for other. I want to submit to magazines and different things like that. So
yeah.
But so it definitely keeps you busy. I backed off just a little bit to take a breather too, because I had just no life for the last year. I was just I was just constantly writing. But and then when it was all done, the stuff I didn't like, I took down off of Amazon immediately. I was just like, okay, you know, because I surprise, they're not all bangers when you got to write a story a week.
Right.
You know. some of them are like, wow, I love this. And some of these are like, boy, this is embarrassing. I'm taking this down as soon as I'm done.
Wow.
But you know, it kind of thickens up your skin to do that though, too. You know? So,
and we were even talking before the stream. That's every author.
Yeah.
Every pulp author, every author that just grinded at their kitchen table to pay the bills.
Yeah.
That's what it was. They were not all bangers.
No, not even close. I mean, it's pretty amazing. You have to have a you have to have a whoops all chat. How that would be freaking funny.
That'd be hilarious. Hey, we got the turnaround on this third one is just crazy, you guys. It's already out. Here you go.
I can send you like 50 PDFs. You work it out. You can put other people's names on them. I don't care.
Yeah, it's all just like one or two letters different.
You know what I thought would be really cool to do would be to take a bunch of those and do like ace doubles. Like, wouldn't it be cool if we did our own line of ace doubles? Like, I could just
do-si-do style.
Yeah, take like the 20 best of them, and over time, you know, we publish. Other people involved here could write a short story, and I've already got one written, and just ace doubles, split the profits down the middle, or even, you know, build something better with them. I'm sure there'll be ravenous profits. So, but you know, science fiction needs people to do things like that. I mean, the ace double is kind of a cool idea, you know. It's people love them when they're in book sales and stuff. And I guess we could get like a print on demand company to do it.
Yeah,
you know, but it's something to think about.
Yeah, but you'll probably be able to cannibalize and rewrite a lot of the ones that didn't turn out how you wanted. Words on the page is important. Agreed.
Yeah. I'm some of them are going to be turned into novellas or short novels, like, because I wrote a few series. Some of it was series, so I'm going to slam those series into like one thing. So, but you know, and then you can always just see what happens from there.
All right, Keith, get AI on it. Yeah,
I'm 6.5 feet tall, so you don't want to see me in a clamshell.
Oh, yeah. There's in reference to the AI art, like the same thing. Like, I got some pushback because I took a sponsorship from Sci-Fi Shorts, a couple videos like earlier in the month.
Oh,
and
right.
They crank out they feature a short story a flash story every day of the week.
Oh, right. Okay.
There's no possible way to make covers.
Oh yeah, it's
There's
difficult.
no way to make at least 5 to 7 covers a week. And it's like, but it's just for like the page, you know what I mean? It's for like the website. So like, but still people are like, that's AI art. We're like, yeah, it is, but it's literally either that or a blank nothing or just text. So it's like,
yeah. I guess you could do like those British covers, right? Yellow with black letters.
Oh, those are hideous.
Yeah, I know. I always wonder why people get a little excited about them. I'm like, yeah. I know one guy who gets really excited about them. I don't understand his taste in covers. But he's been selling books a long time though, so he knows more than I do about it. Cheers.
Yeah. So I guess let me ask you about inspiration then, because if you're printing, or if you're having to write, well, first of all, before I get into that, can you tell me what does a week look like? You have to make a short story in a week. What's that week look like?
Usually, what I would try to do is come up with maybe 9 or 10 ideas that I can then project into the future and think about as the week goes on. And then, you know, what I would do is there was really no time for outlining. So I would just sit down and kind of know where I wanted the story to go, beginning, middle, end. I would keep like the 7-step outline, you know, where you have like you have a character in place, in setting with a problem, and then have them get thwarted, you know, several times, like 2 times, and then and then they either, you know, do or die, fix it or die, and then usually something like a resolution or an acknowledgement at the end. And I just kind of stuck to that simple. That's like the old Collier magazine book format or short story format. And I just followed that. And so then you just have an idea. you just have an idea. That's hilarious. And you just follow it from there. But the ideas, you're just kind of always searching for ideas. If you've been writing a long time, and I've been writing since I was 13 and I'm 60 now. So I have a backlog of ideas, and I just took those ideas and just tried to expand upon them. And so every week I knew what I was writing. Sometimes when I would get in things would dry up a little bit, I would just do a series. So I had some series ideas standing by. So I would do like 5 or 6 of the short stories would be interlinked.
That's so like smart. So you had a backup plan for when there was nothing creatively coming out.
Yeah. If I was busy, different things going on. The thing I really wanted to protect against is, in any given year, everyone has that time of year where they get kind of sick. Everyone kind of has that time of year that's just not where they're at their best. And I wrote ahead so that I would be ahead when that came along.
Oh, that's smart.
And as it turned out, I never had it. It never hit. I was fine all year long. I was like, son of a bitch, I prepared for this and it never happened. So
I did extra credit, dang it.
Yeah. So I got done a little ahead of time with the whole challenge, and which was kind of nice. I was done probably 3 weeks early. So then it was just a matter of publishing and getting out of the way.
So actually the amount of work per week, like I'm talking like I wake up, what did it look like? Because are you retired? Are you still working?
Oh no, I still work. Yeah, I work in IT. I would sit down and I would write the story in an average of 1 to 2 sittings.
Okay.
So I would write like 3,000 to 6,000 words on a Saturday, on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of thing. Sometimes I'd take a day off work and just write a story on like a Friday, fix it up on a Saturday, and get it submitted. I had till midnight Sunday night, midnight Eastern or West Coast midnight, so 3 a.m. my time. And sometimes I would be working on that story at 9 p.m. on a Sunday night, because I'd have half of it done, and then I would just crank out the other half, just like a pulp writer. It was kind of the whole idea, was to write it quick and write it clean draft.
Yeah.
Dean Wesley has a writing approach known as writing into the dark, where you write in about 500 words, review back, write in another 500 words, review back, write a quasi clean draft. When you're all done, you make sure it makes sense. You make sure you have good grammar, and you send it with no hesitation. And then you either get accepted or rejected. And I wrote, I published a story with Schlock Webzine that way, and I published one with Savage Realms that way. So it does work. Sometimes it doesn't work though, and so you just have to be prepared for the slings and arrows, because
so well, go ahead.
It's just exploratory writing by the seat of the pants, as people call it now. It's just exploratory writing.
And so you'd hit the 500 words. How strict with that were you? Because I can imagine myself like kind of when you get into that zone.
Oh yeah.
And you're just flying. Do you break yourself out of that and pull back?
No, if I was going good, I would just keep going. Sometimes, depending how bad I would do like a Pomodoro there with a timer, so it just like I would do like 20 minutes. So I would just write for whatever happened in 20 minutes, and then that would get fixed up, and then I'd get a cup of coffee or a drink or stretch my legs, because they're 3 feet long, so that I got to uncurl from under a desk once in a while.
Hey, you're talking another 6.5. I know.
Yeah. So just stand up and get the blood moving through them, and then just sit right back down and get to work with it. When I was in the challenge, the discipline was unwavering. If I put my mind to something, I can absolutely do it. But it's just putting my mind to it is the hard part, right? Like, I'd always have this aspiration of, I will have the writing thing done by Wednesday, so I can just enjoy my weekend. Nope, I'd be writing Sunday night. Never went the way I wanted it to. I mean, I had like no superpowers other than just the ability to sit down and be creative, which is something I have honed, like a lot of guys who write and gals who write all of my life. You know what I mean? A lot of us have been doing it since we were kids. And So when you decide to just pull it in and make it something that you've targeted and focused, that pressure just makes you better. Like
Yeah.
it is amazing how that pressure brings out the best in you, and it really does. If you try it, that's what will happen for most people. You'll rise to the occasion and create great work.
Yeah. And if nothing else, you just put in the reps.
Yeah, exactly.
And so when it
I
is game
recommend it.
time, you're draining them.
Yeah. What's funny is I inspired other people who I told about it here and there, and they were like, "Oh, I'm going to write a story a week," and then they'd come back and be like, "Well, I'm going to write one every 2 weeks," or "Okay, I'm going to write one a month," and I'm like, just keep going, dude. Like whatever it takes, but it is a little harder than it sounds.
Oh
But,
yeah, it sounds bloody difficult.
yeah, but it's very rewarding. Would I do it again? Not this year, because someone told me I should switch over to a novella a month challenge, but I just have other things I want to do, so.
Yeah.
But I think Space Archives is right. The pressure of a deadline is just incredible sauce to a creative mind.
Oh yeah, you need it. Yeah.
It really helps. And if you can make your own deadlines as long as they have consequences.
That's the ticket. That's the key right there. We can make our own deadlines, but we can also make our own excuses.
Yeah. And you have to have consequences. Like, I don't know, you maybe put some money on the line, and your friend gets to keep the money, and you don't get to have it if whatever. Like, give a friend $100, and if you don't write a story by Sunday, they get to keep it. You'll
write that story.
Yeah, or make it a lot more money. Make it the rent. And you'll get the story done then.
Hey, that's how these pulp writers did it. It was the rent.
They really
was.
Did. I mean, it's really something how they did that. Like, I don't mean to belittle or simplify the process at all, but like, if you want to write a 60,000 word novel, you can't go wrong much more than with like Lester Dent's approach, where you just break it down into 4 component parts of 6,000 words each, or 10,000 words each, and then each of those is a 2,500 word section, and you just write one 2,500 word section a day, and you will write a pulp novel in a week. Because that's what Lester Dent did, right? He had the master plot formula. He'd write a Doc Savage novel in no time flat, and they always published.
They always published.
He said the master plot formula never failed him. So, and you can compress that down to a short story approach too. So, yeah. But when you start thinking about it as a formula, people begin to think that, like, oh, I don't want to write formulaically. I don't want to do this or that. You're not. You have a lot of expression within the formula. You have all the expression within the formula. You can twist and bend all you want. But
that's a good point.
You will find that every good story you read pretty much reads to the formula. If you like pulp, or pulp, or even just good science fiction, maybe the new wave breaks that a little bit, but there's a little bit of a formula there. And Michael Moorcock was a staunch proponent of the master plot formula. So, I mean, he was absolutely a salesman for it. So, hey, the Hitman, that's a great idea. That is a story right there. You just wrote a story. I think the getting the hitman to not kill you because you didn't finish the story. That's a Stephen King. That's
King with her, not with writing, but with was it smoking?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it didn't sound too original, but it sounded fun.
Besides, Rob is just lying anyways, because I'm gonna write, dang it, I got a hitman, and he's gonna be 2,000 words in and start to get I wonder if the bookstores near me have restocked lately, and
I need to go buy some more books.
The red dot moves slowly gets closer.
Yeah, I like that. That's great. Like in the 80s, that would have worked perfectly.
So how do you, because maybe I'm just not as creative. I think I am, and I have like a back catalog of ideas.
Yeah.
But there's like, I don't know, maybe 10. I
Yeah.
can think of maybe 10, like right here, give you 10 good ideas for a story. And other
Sure.
than that, like how do you keep that inspiration churning over? Because physically you can do this, but how do you
Right.
keep something that makes you want to do it? Or maybe that
Sure.
question can also tie into how much of it is just, I don't care much for this story, I'm just powering through this one.
I think it comes down, for me, it just comes down to being intensely interested in everything and being interested in people. And I really, really like people, and I love to see what people are doing. So I'm always intensely interested in that, and just interested in what you could call just the minutiae of like everything, the minutiae of like everything. A writer is a generalist, and so you're kind of like a 10-minute expert in so many things. Like I can sit down and chat with friends as a generalist about so many subjects. I'm not an expert in any of them, but to have a deep knowledge, it takes a lot of work. But to have a shallow, just enough to like get your toe in there and get wet, and then you let that make those connections in your head creatively. So that if you look at how a short story is structured, then you just take any situation and you just break it along the structure of the short story. So you're going to have, a character in a place with a problem, and then there will be 2 or 3 attempts to solve that problem, and then a final do or die, and then you have the denouement, and you're done. And so, and it's usually good. It's a funny thing at the end of a short story, you should usually have a character observed and somebody observe and comment on that or something along that line, so that you can set up like a successive story, or that you can you either tie it up with a bow, like this story just kind of tied itself up with a bow. But if you notice, the last thing in that story was somebody observing the hero. So you realize that they're observing the hero critically. They're going to take him away, but other people could observe and say, but thank God Buck Rogers was there. He saved the world. Like that's like the last line of the story. You know what I mean? So whatever the hero does, it's also observed by somebody else, so that you kind of keep it in the world. It's a funny little thing that actually saves stories at the end, that I learned from actually Kristen Catherine Rush was someone who talked about that. I mean, she's published and written more short stories than anyone around right now. So that was kind of a helpful advice. But it's just, you just have to kind of take your idea and break it along those lines. If you imagine somebody encountering a problem, once you've got the problem, all you have to do is figure out how it's going to impact them. So you can take something with technology, something with society, and you can put a person up against it and extrapolate that as long and broadly or narrowly as you can, and then someone has to come through all of that, and how they get through it and how it affects them. But the most important thing you can remember when you're writing a short story is once you have a person in their situation, they have to fight the situation. Like you have to follow like Kurt Vonnegut's rule, right? Like they have to always want something, even if it's just a drink of water. So you'll notice in a lot of my stories, people are always getting some whiskey, they're always getting some coffee, getting a cigarette. You make them do human things, and then as they're doing those mundane things, they're also dealing with the most world smashing things you can imagine, like alien invasions, you know what I mean, or people trying to murder them. And you just create a situation of escalating problems. And as those problems escalate, you're moving more and more towards the end. And it's a short story, so every line has to turn, right? Every line has to mean something. And you can't have any throwaway lines with a 6,000 word or 3,000 word short story.
You can't. There's no room for fat.
Right. Yeah. It's very lean, very trim. It's very quick. I've had people read almost all of my short stories, and one of the comments I got from many people was that I didn't like reading short stories, so I read your short story.
Okay.
And which I appreciated. And what I thought was, it's because they're short. They're truly short. They're 3,500 words, So I want you to be able to read it in one sitting, and enjoyably so. So
what are those? Can you say those your writing methods again for Trubby?
But what you have is you have a character, in a place or a setting with a problem, and then they try to solve the problem, and then that gets thwarted and fails. You try again, that gets thwarted and fails, and then you have a final do or die, and then they either do or die, and that's it. And then you have like a denouement. You have the like or like a resolution, and that's it. And so and then you just wrap it up there. So, and that will take you through any short story. You could write 1,000 short stories with that, and it'll work for you.
I liked what you said about having that external perspective at the end to kind of put a bow on it or wrap it up neatly, because I've never actually pointed that out to myself or like noticed it, but now as soon as you did, I'm like, oh, I've read that in 1,000 stories, because it's
called the validation.
You're telling the reader what to think.
Yes, and you're also telling them stay tuned for next week. Like if you were going to write a series, you're like, hey, here it comes next week. So you're setting them up. So I love those kind of comments. That's hilarious. I love that. So you're kind of setting it up. You're either closing the book, or you're setting them up for the continuation of the story that way.
Yeah.
So, and it definitely works.
Paul says
it's an old trick. It's an old trick. It's been around a long time.
I found forcing myself to read some horrible stories has recently shaped some stronger opinions about writing style. How much does reading good and bad short stories work into the writing process?
Oh, highly instructional, I would think. Like this story that we read tonight is not a bad story, right? It got published, but you can look back on that and just hear the things that we were criticizing the both of us just briefly there. Snappy, catchy language is dangerous. You're gonna date yourself and compartmentalize yourself, but also go back and read it again, because it needs to flow. Breaking flow is just the cardinal sin of short story writing. You don't break flow. And honestly, there are tons of experimental ways to write short stories, and it's very tempting, but a short story needs to make sense to be satisfying. And you need to know your audience too. And what I mean by that is, are you writing for blue collar, middle class guys who really love science fiction because they don't want avant-garde stuff? You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to do like a Hollaback kind of, or you don't want to do like a Gene Wolfe, like where there's a lot of like twisty turny, kind of like playing with things. Mm-hmm. Or you are going to do that, and that's fine. Then you're gonna find your readership there. Yeah. But I think it's good to you might be writing to a reader, but more you should write what you want, and you'll find your readers.
So I like that.
That's all. Like your readers will find you. Stick to your guns. Stick to your style. There's a lot of warnings about sticking to your guns. Stick to your style, and people will find you. Stick to pulp. I mean, pulp is growing. You know what I mean? Like I love to write sword and sorcery, and sword and sorcery is making a comeback. But even if it wasn't, I'd still be writing it.
Yeah, no kidding.
I still love it. So.
But so out of all your stories, what percentage would you say you were like, this one I'm getting through it, this one started rough, I kind of like, but I turned it around, I adore this story, I want to stay in this world forever, and I bloody hate this? Give us the spread if you're writing 52 stories.
I think that I had about 10 of them that I was like, wow, I actually have a handle on this writing thing, and so maybe about 10 of them, maybe. And then there were a couple of them I was like, at least 5 or 6 of them I was like, oh my God, I'm publishing this, and thank God nobody's reading these stories, because I don't have any stars on my stories. Nobody's reading. I did no advertising, so I was like, thank God nobody's reading this shit, because this is terrible. And my wife is such a sweetheart. She was like, oh, I love that story. I'm like, well, it's your job to love them. I'm like, you could tell me you hate that story, I will still love you. But no, she liked them. But there were other people who were like, hey, what was that? Like that was not so great. but there were others that were just a slog. Like sometimes it was like sliding into home plate, and like almost getting out or just out, like you just didn't make it. But it still has to go. You still got to put it up because no matter what, I still had to get that story out there.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, now that it's done, it can easily be revealed that there was more than one like ending that got completely rewritten because I was like, I got to get this in. This is my deadline. But I had a week to publish it, and in that week, I would fix it up again. Because sometimes it's just. You're like, well, like, thank goodness my mom's not around to read the bad ones. You know what I mean? So, because my sister doesn't read my stuff. So, yeah. So, yeah, exactly. The story sucked. You're out. So, my wife never read short stories either. So she became someone who went from no short stories to reading about 65 short stories in a year. Yeah. So she now really likes short stories. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's hard to identify, but I can remember really cringing when I hit publish a couple times. And those stories are down, so you can't find them. So if you read one of my stories and you're like, this guy sucks, it's worse. I have worse than that story. Believe me, you didn't get to see them.
Don't underestimate the internet. They'll find them. After this, they're going to find them.
They're down.
They're looking. There's a couple in the chat that are looking as we speak.
Oh, I know. I can just imagine the drubbing I'm going to take. But honestly, my first rule of writing is that I got from Frank Herbert, which was entertain the reader. So I genuinely want to entertain the reader. That is my sincere first goal. I don't have any lofty goals beyond that. I would just like you to sit down and read my story and be like, damn, that was great. Do it again.
Yeah, that's the best praise right there. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all
exactly.
we want.
I'm not doing it for the money.
Yeah.
I mean, the money would be great, but you have to be realistic about this. There are ways to turn this into money, but you work furiously to do it. Like you can do the 20 for 20 novels, whatever that the people do. Like they say you don't even hit your stride until you have about 20 Kindle novels up and running. So that sounds difficult, to be quite honest, with quality. But there are people doing it. They're writing mostly series. I think there's like a lot of different series people pull it off. So that's what Barnes and Noble, that's what Amazon wants, because then they can sell. They have a built-in audience for the next one, so it makes sense. But I do hate that when you go to the bookstore, it's just there's no standalones anymore. I miss the good standalone science fiction novel. If I could make a living writing pulp length or like those like 250 page little paperbacks, geez, that would be a great life. Yeah, I would love that.
Oh, heck yeah.
But as far as like the creativity thing goes, I had a backlog of ideas, and more ideas come when you're like, it's one of these things where like when you have ideas and you're writing, more ideas come because you're feeding a subconscious process. I believe it was Damon Knight who said in his book on writing short stories that every time an idea comes to you, it is your subconscious offering you something. And if you ignore it, then your subconscious says, okay, he ignored that. He's not interested in that. I'm not going to do that anymore. But if your subconscious feeds you an idea and you write it down and you make a note of it, then your subconscious is like, okay, he liked that. I'm going to do that again and do it again. And then he went as far to say that you should name your subconscious. You should give it a name, like Frank is talking to me. Frank offered me a story. I think he used the word Frank.
It's just it's the muse archetype. It's just the muse. It's the same thing.
I really took that to heart, and I always have. So when a good idea comes, I don't discard it. But people have said, writers note, people carry around those notebooks, and there are writers who have said people carry around those writers notebooks, and they're just books full of bad ideas. But all your shit ideas that you know. But
Just get them out and flush them.
yeah. But another thing that I picked up along the way was, yes, write down all of your ideas so your mind keeps handing you good ideas, but it's the ones you can't stop thinking about that you write.
Oh, right. Yep. Right.
Don't write the ones, only write the ones that are nagging you. Just like they just won't let you go. You wake up and you're thinking about them. You go to bed, you're thinking about them. And if you're not waking up and going to bed thinking about stories, you're not going to make a living at writing. You could write, and you should, but you're probably going to be a hobby writer as opposed to someone who's seeking publishing. If you're not, like, when you're in the shower, if you're not thinking about your short stories and your possible novels and stuff, it really has to be that deep, because if you get really published, it's, the publishers are so demanding. There's so much work to do. I mean, it finally crushed George Martin, right? Like, he can't even get the last one done.
Yeah, well, I think the audience crushed him, because they're like, we hate this ending. And he's like, well, I was going to do something much different. Crap.
Yeah, right.
I'm just going to die first.
Look at a guy like Stephen King, 2,000 words a day without fail, like every day, 7 days a week for his entire life.
I thought he would do more.
Is it more? It might be 2,500 even. 2,000 words a day. It's like a novel. You're cranking out a novel in 6 weeks. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But true. So it's just one of those things where if it's important to you, you will do it that much. But we have lives. We have bills to pay. Most writers have jobs. Very few people get to live the dream. We're doing it for love. We're doing it for the love and the likes. Yeah. But it is incredibly fun to write a good short story and then have people talk about it, like to have them talk to you about it. Like, what does this mean? What was your meaning there? Or they tell you the meaning of your story. That's the best part of all. I love it when someone tells me what my story meant. And I don't mean that sarcastically at all. I mean that for real. Like, I love that.
How do you take it? Do you take it like, that's not what it meant? Or you're like, I didn't think of it like that. You're right.
I'll tell you, I learned to never challenge that. When I used to sell photography, I used to be an artistic photographer. I would sell, art photography, and people would show up at my shows and they wouldn't even know I was standing there at the show. They didn't know who the artist was, because it would be like mid-evening or whatever, and they wouldn't have been there at the beginning. And they would have all kinds of opinions, from good to very, very bad about my work. And I just took it all in stride. And and so sometimes they would find very weird meanings in my photography, and I would just be like, you're right. Just whatever it was, you're right. But because you don't want to challenge someone like that when they're half drunk and telling you about the spirits that live in your picture, which happened more than once. But it's with a story, what it is that if someone has pulled something out of a story, I don't want to change it. Like that. That's their experience of the story, and I wouldn't want to say that's wrong, because I like where they're taking it. If my story has taken you somewhere, I don't want to take you away from wherever it's taken.
100%. And like, there's something to their artist interpretation. There's something that's speaking to them,
right? Yeah. No, that's true, and you don't want to put that fire out, because that can also keep somebody interested in your work. And look at all the interpretation that's been done on, like, Gene Wolfe, for goodness sakes. There are whole like podcasts and web pages devoted to interpreting the Book of the New Sun. So
I'm still not reading that book. I'm not reading it. Dang it!
I never read it either. I just hang out with a bunch of people who never stop talking about it.
Same. Hey, Scooter, it's for, you'll see later this week. It'll all make sense. Or maybe it won't.
So but as far as where it all comes from and how it all comes together, it is just extrapolating very small ideas until you stretch them out into stories, just kind of following that format. And that's basically how I do it. And having a backlog of just old ideas.
Yeah.
that I just kept handy.
A lot of my early stories, I like them, and but they were definitely of Jake then,
Right.
not
Right.
just in like skill level, which is just not the same. Like my old stuff, read my old stuff, like, good gosh, boy, I really did that. It was all a dream. Really, my first story, it was all a dream. I did that, didn't know any better when I was 19 or whatever. But
Sure.
like, but it still has those elements in the story that I really love, but I can't go back to them.
Oh, right.
And I even tried, like, I wrote my space opera epic when I was mid-20s. Fat novel, big fat thing. And that's what I was started to do probably three or so years ago, started to rewrite that again, because now I know so much more. I'm a better writer, blah, blah, blah. And I got 105,000 words into it, and I was right at the halfway point. And I'm like, this thing is giant. And I stopped writing it because I'm like, I love it, but this is not me anymore.
Oh, really? Oh, so okay, you've kind of versioned out of it, aged out of it, maybe.
I think I aged. Well, the thing is, like, if I read this, I would still love it. And the writing on the page, I actually love it. But I'm just like, it's so, well, part of it is too, it's just very serious.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah,
and
sure.
very like almost to a try hard level. And I tried I tried to pull that back a bit, but it's like, and there's some moodiness, there's some brooding that's just like not where I am in life.
Right.
And so if I wrote this space opera adventure now, which I was doing, if it's me now doing it, it will look different. It won't have these same characters.
Right.
Even if it had these same characters, it wouldn't have the same. They wouldn't be making these decisions. Right. And so I was constantly fighting with myself. And I wrote a lot. I was about 2,000 to 6,000 words a day, like just and a lot of rewriting of this. So like I was hauling, but just I just did not. I was fighting with myself because I was fighting with my old self.
He said that comment, emo Jake. I was thinking. I said, the world needs. I was thinking the world needs an emo space opera. You could, what you could do is you could boil that down to a character in another story and write like a short story about that. You might be able to take that story and extrapolate like 5 short stories out of it. Yeah. And then, take your current turn of thought and your current, like the current way that you like to write, and maybe try to pull elements from that story and spin that story out into several short stories.
I think I have to, just because I love the story, and like the ending made me cry as I'm writing it. I'm crying. It's like I even wrote the sequel too. That sequel was never published, but like that's another thing is I don't read fat books anymore. Some I do on the side, but like I like skinny stuff.
Yeah,
that's the type of story I want now, not the big, long, drawn out epics. And so,
weren't they good books too? Though those 250 word novels are excellent. They're so much fun to read.
They're fast. Yeah.
And you get a chance to get into the story. You go down deep, and you're down in the depths of that story, and it doesn't let you go till it's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I don't know. Are there any that you think you're going to be able to go back and I think you said that you're going to maybe flesh some out into novellas, or is there any that you might want to flesh out into novels that you're like, I love this idea. I adore this little world here. I'm going to dive in and turn this thing into 80,000 words.
I think that there are a few that I definitely want to do that with. And, there's actually a couple of them that I started writing and I stopped writing them because I was like, you know what, this is a novel. Like you start writing a short story and you're like, I can make this short, but this is a novel, and I don't want this out in the world until it's novel length, So, and by novel length, I mean like 60,000 to 80,000, 60 to 80,000 words or whatever.
Which the sweet spot.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it's that all those great, all the original, you know, Hugo winners, all the old stories from back in the late 50s, early 60s, they were all, I mean, you know, you have a whole wall of novels that prove it works as a form, you know.
Yeah.
So,
And they're fun. And if they
you know what?
suck, they only take up an afternoon.
Yeah. And people love it. That was an incredibly successful way to put books out into the world for a long time. And look how many people read them now. My goodness. And the price on the, you know, like the post-pandemic price gouging on them is absolutely astounding, because you used to be able to get any of them for $1. And I mean any of them, anywhere you went. Like in the 80s and the 90s, you could get all those books. A book that's like $100 now was $1 in the 90s. And I don't mean to sound like an old man.
What an old man. Man, when I was a kid,
bread was almost free and books were $1. You know, it's like, you know, it's
they
like
pay you to take books.
But I mean, you know, we had some really excellent used bookstores in my town, and they had just piles of science fiction books. They had tried to get me to just take them away. I had a huge collection of books, and I remember selling them all off years ago, because I was just like, oh, what am I going to do with all these? But the pulp boom hadn't started. It was the 90s. The internet wasn't really here yet. The internet was like, you know, Prodigy and chat and bulletin boards. So, you know, it wasn't fun yet like it is now. Internet 2.0 is totally different, you know.
It's going to get weirder too. Somebody made a good point though, is because like we'll look at a pulp book here and be like, dude, this thing was $12. Ugh. Or, you know, this size mass market paperback. But the thing is, like, if you go to Barnes and Noble, new books are like $50.
Yeah,
I can't believe it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they've made it an inaccessible, you know, nicety. It's not as much. Well, I just buy books used now. It's like I haven't bought a new book in a long time. When I buy a new book now, it is usually because I want to help that author, you know. So
right, yeah.
I can't think of the last time that I even did that. So it's been a while. And all the youth books are about interesting things, you know. So that's the other thing. So there's a few new books I'm tempted to get. I just haven't gotten them recently.
Yeah.
Wow, $18 for a paperback is insane. That's a book that's going to fall apart on you too, especially the way they make them now.
Oh yeah, and like by the time you're done, they're all flared out and fanned, and it just.
Yeah, I keep asking myself, why is there no new Frank Frazetta? You know, like there must be 50 guys at least that good, and they're not using them. Like, why haven't they propped a guy up like that? You know, like, where are the good book cover designers? Like, what happened to book covers? It's
well,
you know, like,
did you ever watch that? Did you watch Ben Grammaticus?
No, I don't.
You really need to. His channel is awesome, and he just dropped a video today. He's back. But yeah, Grammaticus actually did a video. I'll send it. I'll find it and send it to you when we're done here, Jack.
Please do. Yeah,
great. Yeah. He actually was at a dinner, sitting down with somebody who's in one of those high up design places. For the publishers, and he asked them, why do they suck? Why are they just text and filigree? And it was unbelievable. They're like, we hate it. We wish we had like beautiful art like we used to, but everything has to fit on an Instagram post. So it has to be visible in a square this big. And I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah. That just sounds like an excuse to me. I don't know. You know, like, give the books good covers. If you give the books good covers, we're going to buy them.
Right. Well, that's what they're saying, is like on Amazon is where they sell the books. They don't. From Barnes and Noble and all these other booksellers, it's this much. They buy the rest of them on Amazon, and so it's
you're right. So it has to be an appealing thumbnail, which is unfortunate. Right. You know, and not even a thumbnail, really. I mean, geez, they're tiny.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I agree, Tal Zero. I love that old book smell. You know, that all those, whatever those volatiles are in there.
Yeah. Yeah, the cover sucks. Expensive editions don't even look good on the shelf. I know. But it's just on the shelf. It's all just color coordinated. Like, put them in an ombre effect, you know.
I don't want that. I want cool covers.
I want cool covers. Dang it.
Yeah. I don't understand why we can't have that anymore, but I keep waiting for a competitive line to come along, someone who can just compete with the whole system, but they wind up getting bought out. I guess it's the problem, or they just can't they don't have the reach.
I think there's going to be, plus there are some books that do still have art and graphic design and stuff. Not the bestsellers, they suck.
Yeah.
But even then, it's not, you're right, it's not Frazetta, it's not Ken Kelly, it's not these true artists. It's just something that somebody made in some graphic design.
There's no Chris Foss anymore.
There's no Foss.
We need we need an affordable Chris Foss to start making covers. I wish someone would just start up a website full of just really bitchin' art that you could just hey, you can put this on your book, and I keep the painting, but you get the print, and you get the rights and whatever.
Everybody's talking about Weird Frequency.
Weird Frequencies has a really cool cover.
It's got a great cover.
I watched your I was stuck in a traffic jam last week, and I watched your video about the artist who did the cover. Your second video about him. What an interesting guy. And and he did cool covers for his own books too.
Oh,
he's got
Jimmy,
a great style.
Oh,
he's got a great art style. So that's and that's the cool thing about it is those artists bring their style to the covers. Like time and time again, you can spot a Frazetta cover from a mile away.
Right. Kyle makes a good point. The Heathen editions, you're right. Those are
I have
cool.
A few of those, and I agree. They are quite nice.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. There are definitely standouts. Like it's bleak, but it's not completely desolate, right? There's still a few out there.
But you're right. They're not our Heathen editions I've only hear about them here. I don't know that I've seen them in Barnes and Noble or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to follow them. You have to get their emails and all that other kind of stuff. But I'm fine doing that. I don't mind. That works for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the new cover for Into the Void is awesome. We're very excited about that one. Have we shown that?
What is Into the Void something you're working on?
That's the next anthology. That's the next Weird Frequencies anthology.
Oh,
and
excellent!
It's done. It's currently being formatted, so we're getting real close.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
I have Weird Frequencies. I haven't gotten to read it yet, but I have that. I'm looking forward to reading The Dig. You spoke highly of it. So
The Dig is good. I showed him Bill. I did show him Bill second. This is what I'll say about Weird Frequencies. Just for you, Jack. I know people in the chat have probably heard me say this a million times. It was made for fun.
Yeah.
And we were all shocked by how good it was.
Oh, that's great.
We're like, oh crap! Everybody here can actually write.
No, that's great when you find that community of people who can all write like that. I was talking to Brandon on his Whatnot site, but I talked to you about it too, and I feel like coming into this community only recently. I feel like what I see here is what happened in the 40s to science fiction, the 40s and the 50s, where there were people who kind of liked a certain kind of science fiction and a certain kind of community, and they just built it together and they just worked it together. It feels like there's a little bit of that here, and it's kind of nice.
100%.
To see you guys are publishing your own books and doing your own thing, and that's a really great thing. Science fiction needs that. We need people who care about that sense of wonder to keep it going.
Yeah, 100%.
Feelings matter, but it can't be all just books about feelings. It has to be books about sense of wonder and all those things that make science fiction so interesting.
Give us some adventure, dang it.
Yeah, I want adventure and really Sword and Planet, sword and sorcery, sword and romance, blasters and swords. If there's a sword, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Oh, I must have shown it. Okay, good. I did show it in a video. All the good stuff is underground right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are also doing retrograde horror. I am going to listen for everybody, because I know there's a bunch of you guys in the chat here that have stories in there. This week, the kids are back in school. So this week I am putting my nose to the grindstone, and hopefully we'll get some editing done. So yeah, stick by your emails, everybody, because hopefully that one we can get out before Halloween. That's the goal.
Oh, that'll be nice.
I got to haul. I have to seriously haul booty, but Yeah. Tim W has a really great story in there too. It's really, really good.
I just think it's cool. You're surrounded by this community of all these excellent writers who want to put stuff together. Everybody wants to work together.
And we had no idea. And Jack, I opened it up for submissions at the start of the year.
Oh, okay.
It was over 60 something submissions I got. And I'm like, for just 2 anthologies. And so I'm like, I was turning down good stories. Like it was so painful.
Yeah.
But I'm
That's
like,
the hard part of being an editor, I'd imagine.
oh man, well, one of the hard parts, but yeah, that was just brutal. Yeah,
well, you're going to have even more. I think you'll probably have more of a response this year. If you do another one, you'll probably have more of a response, which is excellent.
Yeah.
You could also take those leftovers and make another one, right?
We're going to keep making them. Yeah. We're going to keep do a couple a year just because we want to play. We want to have fun and play and make great stories.
Yeah, and where else are we going to find this stuff, right? We're either going to find it in the old works or we're going to write it for each other, just like the Futurians did, right? Just like they did in the 40s and the 50s. It's
right.
You know, just like all the zines did. Like we have to do this for ourselves. You know, we have to make it what we want it to be. So we can work together, teach each other, and help each other.
Facebooks is in the chat, who has a story in both the upcoming anthologies.
Oh, excellent!
Show
That's
off.
Excellent.
He has his story too is a lot of people's favorites on for Weird Frequencies. It's good. You guys keep saying Weird Western. I never said Weird Western. I said that'd be cool. We'll do one eventually, but next year we're gonna do a weird fantasy and a weird, or it's just a fantasy, I guess, a fantasy, because all fantasy technically is a little weird. What
is Pulp Fest theme for next year? They have a theme? Then they already stated it. Something to do with the air or something, things flying, or I can't remember. I read it. I can't remember.
Let's look it up right now because I don't know. Looking ahead to Pulp Fest 2027. Let's find that. They'll be saluting the 90th anniversary debut of the Shadow. Oh wait, that's this year. I don't know. You guys can let us know. You guys look it up in the comments. We're gonna do Westerns, just probably not next year because it's hard. Nice. Deb also is in the horror anthology, which is great. Oh wait, no, you're in Weird Frequencies. Or are they Out of the Void? They're all Weird Frequencies, but that's
So is it on the worst reader is Deb? Oh, Deb in Australia. Yeah, Deb. Oh, I love Deb's channel. My wife and I discovered her maybe last year. I love her book reviews. Yeah,
great. She's read everything.
Yeah, and great reviews. Always enjoy them. So
Weird Fantasy is going to be lit. Glockenstick has a story in there too. It's great. Nice. Yeah. There's no shortage of. That's what surprised all of us, that there's no shortage of great writers.
Deb. We're definitely fans of your channel. Definitely been a follower for a while. So definitely a fan. What goes on in Weird Westerns? You know, I love Western movies. I've never read. Oh, Pulp Heroes of the Air. There you go. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
So, okay, now it makes sense. Pulp Heroes of the Air. I was thinking like fighter combat because that's just where my head goes when I hear the word air, but they mean radio. Okay, I love that. Okay. All right.
Well, Keith here, Tau Zero is going next year, right? Right, Keith? You better not. I got drafted my honeydews very soon, Jay. We are in formatting right now, so editing's done. It's all put together. We're just getting it to fit because everything we do is in this size.
Is that void like Lovecraftian void kind of void? Are we talking, or open to interpretation?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes,
All
it
right.
Sounds cool. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You better go. Yeah. Are you going to Pulp Fest, Jack, next year?
Well, I wanted to go this year, but we wound up having to replace our air conditioning for the home. So that sucked up all the Pulp Fest money, or I would have been there this year. So yeah, we're planning on going.
Nice.
We usually go to Cap Clave every year, although we haven't gone in a while. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to doing Pulp Fest next year. I would really like to be there, and maybe I'll have an anthology or two of my work ready to go by then. I might try to huck maybe a little. We'll see. There's always that nagging doubt in the back of your mind that really should I be doing that? Like am I good enough to do that? So we'll have to see. My story in Savage Realms, if I could write a story that good every time, I suppose I wouldn't worry about it too much. But one worries about quality. It's good to have an editor and people who can honestly tell you whether your work is up to par. So I feel like no matter how much writing you do, I might need more of that.
Yeah, it's definitely important to have an editor for sure.
You're going to embarrass yourself no matter what you do. If you write all the time, you're going to eventually write things that you disown. Like, I don't know who that kid is. That's not my kid.
Yep.
That's not my kid. That's my, I always feel bad if someone reads a story they didn't like. I'm like, you will like the next one.
I hate to always reference this jokester, but there's a Stephen King quote when he's talking about including some crap stories. He's like, some of these are trash, but they're my friends.
yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah. I spent a lot of time with.
He was talking about that one with the finger coming out of the drain. That's what he's talking about. And he's just like, this story, it's probably garbage. There's probably more garbage stories in here, but they're my friends.
Some people like garbage too. It's inexplicable, like they really do. Like they like bad movies, they like bad writing. So, I'm here for them. I'm helping.
Don't you worry, Jay. You can ask some of the other people in the chat. I'll make you cry, little boy. Nice, Kyle. That's awesome. Heck yeah, dude. Joe R. Lansdale wrote some weird westerns. Okay.
Oh, okay. Bubba Hotep's a lot of fun if you've never seen it. That was really good.
It is fun. Yeah. There. See, look, Tim's telling you, Jake is a cruel taskmaster. You've been warned. Yep. Chris is here and he's late.
He was in a liminal space.
It's too bad, Chris, because this was the best story we've ever read.
Oh, you totally missed it.
I mean, it changed my life. Jack, you?
I cried.
Yeah.
It was so
crying.
good.
We were trying to hug each other through a screen and kept bumping our cameras. It was so moving.
If you could hug across TCIP, we would have. TCPIP. We were trying.
My taste is art house and also chainsaw battle girls.
That needs to be on a bumper sticker. That's perfect.
The narrative was exceptional. It was a decent story. It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, it was all right.
We read that, and now we've been talking about writing for the last hour. So.
We just avoided falling into an abyss of food discussion, but luckily
the chat was trying to set us up too.
It was trying. It's trying.
Go Man is lying. So the next, I don't know the next one is. You guys in the chat, let me know, because I set this aside with a sticky note that said Rolling Shorties, because some of you were like, I have that, let's do it. And I don't remember who it was. 1978 World's Best SF. Is this any of you guys in the chat that were like, I'll do that with you? And then I forgot to write your name down. So if it is, you're in.
I might actually have that downstairs somewhere too. I might.
All right. Well, anybody in the chat, if that was you, email me, okay? And because I won't remember the chat.
Wolheim 78.
That's Wolheim 78. Also, and I don't know why we're just sticking with the DAWs here. I'm also on September 1st. If anybody else is interested, We are doing the 1973 annual Best SF with Donna Wollheim, and this is going to be with the Japan man Jeff from Jeff's Cave of Cool Books. He's going to be joining us. But if anybody, and literally, and I say this every episode, if you guys would like to join in, just email me, pulpmortem@gmail.com. Anybody's welcome. You have a channel, you don't have a channel, who cares? You've been too busy to work on your channel because you've been writing 1,000 short stories in a year. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
You know, I think that from just commenting on your videos, people found one of my videos about the Terran Trade Authority books, those old art books from when we were all kids, because the numbers on that really picked up, and it has gotten a lot of attention. People love that old space art, science fiction art and stuff.
Yeah.
So they've been checking that out, but I haven't put up a new video in a long time. So writer's fatigue.
Oh, I hear you. When I finish my every time I finish a story, I'm just like, okay, I need to like sit on the couch for a day.
Yeah.
Or two or three and turn my brain off. Jack Myers in the chat. Jack Myers. You've seen him in the chat. It's just you've never seen him in person.
Yeah, this is
you don't know. Oh. Yeah. Well, hey, it wasn't me, but I have it. Listen, I'm not paying attention to the chat. Email me, everybody. Email me if you want to get in on either of these ones. Email me. If you tell me in the chat you're in. What's that?
Are they once a week you do those?
Every Tuesday. Every Tuesday I roll a different short story. Yeah. This one is September 1st. This one I might just do it next week. You guys want to do it next week? If you do, email me. 1978 World's Best SF. I can we can get 5 people on here other than myself without having to pay Streamlabs even more money. So oh, nice, Joe. Right? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's just Total Recall. Oh, you know what? Oh, I don't have it. I don't have it up there. I bought on Pulp Fest. I got the original pulp that story's in, and I'm so excited about it. If you haven't seen it, Jack, yeah. Everybody always says Total Recall was based off of We Can Remember For You Wholesale.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Bill K. Dick. But they were like, but the book is way, way, way different than the story. It's because the story is Secret of the Black Planet by Milton Lesser.
Oh, so Dan O'Bannon was maybe influenced not just by Dick, but by this other story too. Because I think wasn't that Dan O'Bannon who did the original Total Recall script? I think. I don't
remember. There was a few writers who did the script.
Yeah. Okay.
But Joe, let me know. Make a video, man. Let me know your thoughts about that. Tell me if I'm wrong too, because I do want a second opinion on this. Fine. Yeah. Also, for all the hate mail for my channel today. I do love them. I do love them.
People get incensed. They do get upset, don't they?
Oh, they get so upset. I got one today who was just like, asked me if I'm starting my own cult, and I couldn't tell if he was being serious or making a joke. And right, Goblin, yeah. I couldn't tell if he was serious or making a joke. So I said something like, I'm gonna start it next Monday. And he goes, pathetic. But I still don't know if he's joking or if he's judging.
That dry humor, it just doesn't come across in text that well.
No, I'm hoping it's dry humor and not just I think I have 3 of those key books now, and they are creepy.
Whenever you put anything up on the internet, there are always people who they just really want you to know how they feel about it. Which is always, I watched your last video about the guy who you had the discussion, you had the private discussion with that guy. So is he still here?
Did you figure out what he was talking about?
No, I'm not sure. I got lost in the sauce on that one a little bit.
So did he.
Yeah, too.
Oh, you're right, Jay. Why didn't I see it that way? It's like, get it done. He's trying to do the the do it now.
Oh, yeah.
What's that crazy guy's name? I can't remember his name, the actor. Anyways. Hey, stop. We don't talk about that. This is what we're talking about with all the inside jokes going, man. Nobody knows what we're talking about. Not Arnold. No, it's the
that would be do it now.
Do it now.
Do it now.
No, do it. Just do it. Why can't I think of it? He's literally the guy that goes crazy, beats people up all the time, an actor. Shia LaBeouf. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you. Shia
I was
LaBeouf.
thinking Gary Oldman.
Just do it. I love it. I've been trying to use that on a video, but I can't think of any good reason to. I don't know where you're sending them. Hey, talk to Nick at the book graveyard. He's got a bunch of extra, or make your own. You can make your own and I'll buy them. If they don't know about Bum Cider, they're having. See, Bum Cider is already like a deep lore. That's like 2.5-year-old lore there. Paul, all right. Well, hey, this has been a lot of fun, Jack.
Oh, thank you. I had a good time. Thanks.
Yeah, this is what's the email you want us to send emails to? pulpmortem@gmail.com. That's it. Yeah. I know you'd see. This is the thing. You're joking. You'd buy one. You would 100% buy one. You'd probably buy two. One you can keep in the wrapper.
Oh man. Is there going to be a print of you on the body pillow? Is it like a 6-foot Jake body pillow?
I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. There's some sketchy there are some sketchy images of me. They could do it. Yes. Yes, I do remember Bum Cider was the first time we ever went live and did a live stream, and you and Nick thought I was crazy, and I was like, no, it's gonna work, and you guys were like, I don't think it's gonna work, dude. So we went live, and we never went back because we're like, oh, wait a minute, we don't have to edit.
Hey, that's a good point. You could sell the Pulp Mortem body pillows at Pulp Fest.
I'm not highlighting any of these chats. Any of these you guys are disgusting, and I feel objectified, and I don't like it. I am more than my body. Anyways. Thanks everybody. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks again,
Thanks,
Jack.
everyone.
And honestly, I think we're gonna do this again. I think it's so fat.
Yeah, maybe do another story in there.
Yeah, and I've heard so many good things about this anthology that people are like, "Oh, this one's really, really good." And so, yeah, I think we're gonna do it again. Stop talking about the body pillows. No more inside. All right, we're just gonna start calling the stream "Inside Jokes," and occasionally we read from a book. All right, logging off, everybody. Thanks again, Jack. This was a lot of fun, man.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks.
All right, now we just have to wave awkwardly as the stream ends.